out of the light synthesis of the next universe, the Pleiades, the cradle and the throne of our consciousness. That's how they started it. That's the top here that I'm gonna read. But yeah, they said so off the top, Rod. They said the Pleiades is the cradle and the throne of our consciousness, and our universe was created out of that light synthesis. So just start like
Seven
that,
sisters.
huh?
The seven sisters. Okay, so you look at it like this.
Yeah.
So from Orion, you get your masculine principle.
Mm-hmm.
From the Dog Star, you learn loyalty and dedication. From the Pleiades, you activate your what we call luminous self,
Okay.
right? Your luminous self is also referred to as your multidimensional self.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The little quote that you was reading, he's telling you that the spillover from the Pleiadian light is making up our spiritual matrix, but he's actually referring to the Pleiadian light lock.
Mm.
The Pleiadian light lock is what's holding us, and why everybody think we under a dome. The scientists call the light barrier the Van Allen belt,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? But the ancients refer to it as the Pleiadian light lock,
Mm-hmm.
and it was only supposed to be here until we resolved the what we call the war in heaven that fell to earth.
Mm-hmm.
We had to resolve it on earth,
Right.
right? So once it's resolved, then the Pleiadians release the light lock.
Mm-hmm.
So the light is being used as pure spirit source energy that's being manifest as a according to some incantation or spell or something to bend the light in a certain manner that create this radioactive barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Because all it is radiation.
Right.
When you understand the different rays of light and the different waves of energy, it's radiation,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then it's supported by what they call Arcturian conjure support. That mean they did something that gave added power to what the Pleiades was already doing.
Mm.
So we tapping into the seven sister energy, and the Arcturian energy comes to us in the tribal lore as the three sisters.
Mm.
But it's really referring to Arcturus, but we read it in the solar format as Earth, Venus, and Lilith, but it was usurped and became Luna,
Wow.
right?
Shit.
So these three feminine planets is preventing whatever dastardly deeds we doing in the realm of the Earth from affecting the other star systems,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So he's going into like a metaphysical description of what's being done with the light.
Let me read a little because I want to read from this page because I know
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be like, whoa. I know y'all gonna be like, whoa. We going deep tonight, y'all. We going deep tonight. All right, get your pads out. Rod already dropped some jewels for us. All right. So he says, Enoch explained that our local universe has a triangular light core of 10 million light years with a surrounding veil of 20 million light years. This veil consists of heat envelopes which form a biochemical testing zone necessary to divine life. The biochemical testing zone surrounds the core or central sun, known as the Kalab. Both our local physical universe, which is one spectrum of our local universe, and the surrounding biochemical testing zone are superseded by an invisible world of negative mass, which shapes the atomic nucleus and is used in the building of the physical energy system of our visible galaxy. Thus, the physical universe proceeds out of the world of negative mass, which is used for the purification of trapped light. And I'm going to end on this here. The blueprint for this physical universe in a world of negative mass pre-exists in the higher heavens in the star codes of Pleiades. Right?
Now, all of that to tell you that the physical seen world mirrors the invisible unseen world. All of that together, that's what it means.
Basically what it's saying.
That's what it's saying. But it's just going through the what we call the extrapolation of the sciences.
Right.
Because they got to teach you how to draw it out in order to contract it. So it's training the brain while he's teaching the lesson. I could tell by the way he wrote it that it was written before 2012. Because when he's talking about that backdrop, that became known as the God particle, the Higgs boson, that this generation haven't discovered until 2012. The next day after the Mayan calendar expired on the close of the age cycle. So it's explaining it in a way where like scholars would explain it to each other to tie all of the little nuances together into a bigger picture. But for regular people, the simplest way to say it is the seen world mirrors the unseen world by refraction of light.
By refraction of light, right. Right. Let me. You know how across the globe, there's like a brainwashing program. There's this effort to make people think people of color are inferior or whatever. They always have shit on television where they show us in these low states or whatever. Just to brainwash people all over the world about people of dominant melanin. Is there also a scientific conspiracy to teach us that the word negative is bad? Because every time I'm hearing about hear the word negative in a science test, in a science sense, it's some good shit. But then when I think about our everyday language of the word negative, you think negative and you go, I don't want to have negative thoughts. But then he's talking about we come from negative mass. You got negative ions, all this negative shit, and chemistry and science is good. So was there a concerted effort to make negative bad in our everyday language?
When they made a religious equivalent to evil, is what made it bad.
Okay.
Right. So we're looking at scientific concepts with a religious view.
Yeah.
If you take the religious ideology out of it, then you will see negative and positive as two opposite ends of the same thing. Right. It's all it is. It's degrees and measures one to the other. Masonically represented by the pillar of severity and mercy. On one end is severity, on the other end is mercy. If it's a straight line between the two, one pillar connects to the next. So the ability to make the connections is what we need to learn.
Excellent. One last paragraph I want to read before we move on, Rod, and I want to ask you what they might be talking about. The chosen of this planet. Oh, let me talk closer to the mic. The chosen of this planet who successfully served their species qualify not only to put on the higher over self body of light, but are given the knowledge of how to use the codes of biochemical creation on this planet to mutate a species capable of carrying the light into other creations. For this reason, the people of Israel were created. What he's talking about, Rob?
So what?
I know he ain't talking about the folks we see on TV.
No, he's talking about the ones that they refer to as the gods that created the mortals. The gods used their own essence to create the mortals who corrupted because they different from the structure that was given us through the religious institutions of moralism and self-control. Right? They don't take into account that everything don't apply to everybody and everybody don't believe the same thing. Once they would put that into account, then you have to come up with custom designs for each system of belief.
Mm-hmm.
How do you reconcile two differences of opinion? You either unify them and make them complement each other, or you fight over and make them adversarial to each other.
Right. But the real people, you don't even know their names. We don't even hear their names. Like we know those names because those are the guys who's supposed to say we're supposed to point the finger at. They the scapegoat guys. Because you go in on the scapegoat guys.
Yeah, that's called the cat's paw.
Yeah.
It's 48 laws of power. Now, you gotta keep in mind, as long as the war in Ukraine is taking place, the war in Israel is taking place.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same war.
Mm-hmm.
They fighting the same people, the Khazarians. Right? The Khazarian homeland is the Ukraine now. That's where Khazaria was in ancient times. But at the same time, they're trying to harness the birthright of some people that's supposed to be Hebrews in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have the blood, but they're trying to claim the right.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have both the blood and the right in order to stake the claim. You can't just have one.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have the right without the blood.
Right.
And if you don't got the blood, you don't got the right. That means they're imposing their will by military conquest, which is a galactic rule of victory. But they serving Israel for last.
Right.
We're going to find out is it real.
Classic. He's the criminal. They bad Jackie like they when Jeff Fort was going to trial and all that. Even Larry Hoover, even Dr. York, everybody they had to paint repeating the media the crimes they wanted to stick them with, even though they weren't true, just to bad jacket them. Could you go in on a little bit of that out of their playbook of how they use that tactic?
So anybody that's planning on keeping the people conquered, they have to preemptively weed out the strong leaders who have the rightful leadership role among the people of the land. As long as you keep them leaderless, they like a bunch of wild sheep. They scattered everywhere, right? So you need a herding dog to put them back into a herd. And the herding dog is the one that the government hired to come out and we will overcome us with kumbayas, right? And saying we shall get along, and then go home and go to sleep, and then eat a big fat breakfast in the morning. That's not leadership.
Right.
You got to find solutions to problems as the leader. And the biggest problem we got is the invaders on the land and the imposters. Right. The ones that look like us that ain't us, that pretend to be us. But again, it all got to come out. And genetics is a key factor. And that's why certain people needed a drop of that blood.
Now, this next receipt I'm about to roll is something attested to something that you already said about Australia going through the same thing that we going through right now, and they are fighting against the same people who've been attacking their babies. And this is a guy that's a whistleblower who's speaking out, going in, talking about the global assault against these guys. They've been doing this global. They said that a lot of their military bases was used to smuggle drugs, kids, adrenochrome, etc. All they dark, stuff that they involved with. That the U.S. military bases were established as smuggling camps. So
yeah, that's correct, Governor.
Okay, that's deep, man.
Look,
And A lot of the base, another thing they said I found is that a lot of countries that they had bases in that's now able to have other countries to back them up. They are now kicking the U.S. out of their country. They don't want their base over there no more, stealing their kids. Like certain places, like even you remember, like because they painted as America as the baddest guys in town. We got the Navy SEALs. They some bad boys though, but they went over like the America went to Somalia and they got their butt handed to them over there.
Well, you already remember the people over there in Somalia. You talking about the Black Hawk Down incident?
Yeah.
So they was going after a guy named Muhammad Fahad Adid.
Yeah.
He was the emerging tribal leader that could unify all of the tribes over there in Somalia.
Mm-hmm.
They've been in a perpetual state of war for almost 1,400 years.
Yeah.
They born knowing how to fight war.
Yeah.
It's in their blood.
Yeah.
So when they ran up on them, they wasn't prepared for 11 and 12-year-old kids. That's who was primarily doing all of the shooting at the helicopters.
Yeah.
That was the first rank of defense for the faction.
Yeah.
Right? So the little boys were so military savvy that they thought they was fighting adults at first.
Yeah.
Then the adults came. And it was Black Hawk Down after that.
Yeah. They barely made it out there with their shoestrings tied up over there, boy. They said they stirred up a wasp nest. They stirred up a hornet's nest when they went messing with them guys.
Yeah, but they made it out. But look, how they make it out, but Navy SEAL Team 6, one of the coldest SEAL teams, don't make it out.
Right.
Now, they could have made it out, but it's part of the Benghazi file. So we don't know what was said between Clinton and Obama, but they told them to pull off all of the support from SEAL Team 6 because they was being extracted from a mission. Right? Now remember, SEAL Team 6 is also the one that they credit with taking out Osama bin Laden.
No.
With not one picture of his dialysis machine.
No.
He had to walk around. Everywhere he had to go, he had to take a dialysis machine with him. That's what they told us. We supposed to believe that BS.
Oh yeah, we threw his body in the ocean, in the middle of the ocean.
So they say. But everything is not always what it seems. Most of this stuff is theatrical performance for the entertainment of the masses to keep them with something to do while they live in their life. Giving them something to talk about.
And then the Pentagon telling us about a 12-mile mothership coming. They ain't never told us about no UFO. They still telling us the Roswell crash is a weather balloon. So do you think that this is a way? It seems like to me it's an easy way to say, oh, we already told you the aliens coming, right? So when they get here, they already can say, oh yeah, here go Project Bluebeam, and then use that on us like a fake an alien invasion. Have everybody in masked exterior. They create a martial law, so then they can just do a reset, and then send us into this new world, one world system, one world monetary, one world government, etc. Do you think that that's the whole agenda? Because why would they tell us that? They ain't never told us about nothing.
First of all, they already did Operation Bluebeam. Alien invasion. You remember when they shot the blue beam up from the White House?
Yeah, I remember that. A green beam too.
Right. And remember, this was early on. We was going over that information back then.
Yeah.
Okay. Then right after that was the mass migration of aliens across the border, illegal aliens across the border into America that they now have ICE attempting to clean up.
Yeah.
We already had our alien invasion. So now they run in the simulation in the open to what they're doing in the background. ICE is cleaning up the aliens. It's all coded.
Now, would it be safe to say they not the people that some of the people they cleaning up, they're Mexicans, and they really much indigenous to this land just like we are, as far as some of them, as far as our children.
They're using it to tell a story, though, Elder.
Go ahead.
On the surface, they cleaning up the illegal aliens that cross the border, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what they doing behind the scenes? They're cleaning up the aliens that came with ill intentions. With the technology giving them to them from the goody teas, so to speak. It's the same thing, good cop, bad cop. All the way up. Every time you see it, it's good cop, bad cop. They still the cops.
Still the police.
Yeah. They keep you intimidated and threatened. But right now we done all found our dilly gap. We would look like I give a fuck.
Right.
So we sitting here watching it like you're not finna get me emotionally invested in it, and that's how it loses its power.
Right? Yeah, we're not emotionally invested in it. It's lies they telling them on.
Yeah. We know something ain't right with the Charlie Kirk situation. We know something ain't right with the girl on the subway. Right. We might not know exactly what it is that ain't right, but we know enough to know something ain't right to the degree where we don't give it no emotional energy.
Right.
We don't get invested in that.
That's facts. They losing big time on
so ragged. I already know how, because once I'm on to something, like if my mama or my daddy give me something to do, I can't stop till I'm done.
So you like keep running, and so you like burn out. No, it's good to take a little bit of a break. And online can be a little like, it can be a little
I hate social media platforms. The only reason why I do them is because it's the path of least resistance to get the message to the most amount of people with the least amount of resistance.
That's true. We both come from Generation X, so I don't think it's like we've learned to navigate through social media, but we're more like people to people kind of generation. You know what I mean? Like I'd be living on the block, like, yo, Rod, what's going on with the Pope? You know what I mean? Yelling out the window. Your mama would know me from like my mom from back in the days. It's kind of like how I think Generation X is more personable. So I think
more community oriented. Then the social media is more standoff. People less likely to greet each other in the public, but they're more likely to. I liked your post.
Yeah, I like the more personal, but I'm a little communal in that way, and I'm very indigenous in a way that I like to talk to people. You know what I mean? It's a little different.
I was looking at your lineup, and I seen the white buffalo lady.
You did, right?
The thumbnail is a cover for Timeline Pole Shift Character Swap. And then you got the House of the Wizard of Oz with the ruby red shoes, but on the other side, that's the white buffalo lady. She one of my friends on Facebook.
Are you serious? You know all the indigenous. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call you Chief, right?
I was looking at your elephants too.
You too? They always say like I'm such a mama, like I'm the way that I navigate my life with my little cubs.
That's the symbol of the matriarch.
I think I hold that now. When I was a little younger, I was a little all over the place, but I kind of hold that energy now as I get a little more seasoned. Yeah.
When you had the two of them facing each other like that, if you look at them, they're the same but different. That's the rule for translating what's in the mirror. The same but different. It's something that look like something else or sound like something else. You got homonyms and synonyms.
Yeah.
But we can't leave out the opposites too, which is the antonym. And so when you read the mirror, it's the same but different. It's like when you go through the funny mirror in the carnival.
Yes.
You see different reflections of yourself because you got a different mirror.
Absolutely. Isn't it kind of speaking to the multiverse, the multiple timelines where they're coexisting. Like there's different versions. Like we're somewhere in another timeline. Maybe we're having this conversation, but we're like sitting on a cliff, overlooking
Yeah.
like three suns. You know? You ever think about
Mhm.
that? It's kind
Mhm.
of cool. It's like this
Yeah.
this,
Difference in timelines.
yeah, coexisting all simultaneously. It's time is a artificial construct that just is meant to keep us here cohesively, right? Give us congruentness to our environment. Your dogs, your dogs. They're. Hold on, y'all. You can't hear them, but they're going bonkers again. 5. Okay. Ooh, oh shit, oh shit. So tonight we're gonna kind of discuss going into the archdiocese, the Pope's passing. Now I know Rod. Maybe I should wait. I always wait until 500, but I think we should just get in because I'm already late. Right? Let's just get in. Rod. Let's discuss like the whole symbology behind the Pope's supposed death or exodus out of what we perceive to be our matrix timeline, and also the age he was, which was 88, the date in which he decided to transcend, which was the day after Easter, right? What is your give me a little bit of an idea of like what you think all that had to do with each other, or if they felt like there was something designed behind his transition on that particular date as that particular age.
Contrary to popular opinion, he been dead for years. They've been using CGI. They've been using androids for his public appearances.
Mhm.
The android is so real that if you're standing there, you won't even know you're not a human.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Right. But the reason is it's the control of narrative.
Mm-hmm.
The control of narrative. 88 is the mirror flip on the infinity loop. That's one interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
88 also means the seated queen.
Oh, how
So you
so?
got because 8, that's the symbol for the bumblebee, which is the queen bee looking for a new nest.
Yes, yes, yes.
80 is the open queen seat that the queen haven't landed yet.
Interesting.
When
Yes.
she lands, she forms the 88,
Mm,
right?
yes.
And the 880 is an open empress seat. And the 888 is the seated empress.
Mm,
So they come behind the Pope 88 death on 4/28, which is 88,
mm,
with a blackout in Spain and Portugal.
that's right.
Right. So this was letting us know that the Spanish conquistadors was the first to invade the Americas.
The Moors, what you like to call the dirty Moors, is
Yeah.
yeah. Also, they were called his name. Christopher Columbus was his alias. He had
Yeah.
multiple names. Yeah.
Yeah. That was his pen name actually.
Mm-hmm.
And the Columbus is the play on Columbia.
Mm,
Columbia is the goddess. Remember, they all pretend to be the goddess. All of the priests, and you think they're wearing robes and they wearing ancient matriarchal priestess garb.
yeah.
The Pope sits under Big Mama's seat because he's the underminer.
Mm,
He the king of the Jews. Go back to your Bible.
mm-hmm. Yes.
And they put over the cross, here is your king of the Jews. Right? But they don't tell you that Jesus is ISIS.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right? And they show you the part where ISIS say, on this rock, I will build my temple.
Mm.
The rock reference was to Peter.
Peter's one of our people on my Zooms. She talks about Peter being a very special name that's used historically to reference certain types of people. What do you say about that?
Peter is pater in Greek.
Interesting. Okay.
Pater means father.
Oh.
Right? And the reason why Peter is pater and they call all of the priests of the Catholic Church father is it's the usurping of the sacerdotal seat of the earth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And this is why Pope's seat is under Big Mama's seat. They
Yeah,
suspend her seat up in the air
that's right.
because no men ain't supposed to sit in it because
Mhm.
it'll end the game.
They aren't qualified. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It'll end the game.
Hmm.
We don't know this is a game. We thinking that all of this stuff is so real because we in the 3D. We don't realize we whole like beings that put this spacesuit or this Earth rover suit on to roam around Earth and pretend to be people.
That's right. It's a game, pretty much like a holographic game. Yeah,
That's why they always make sure that everybody understand that famous Shakespearean quote: "The world is a stage, and we are just actors."
that's right.
Everybody have a part to play,
Yes.
right? You come in stage right, you exit stage left. You only exit stage right when you have another role to play,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've
right?
ended one cycle, one role, and now you're going to play another part. You've been
Right,
contracted as another character.
right. So if they got 20 scenes in the movie or in the play, and you in scene one, scene five, and scene nine, when you leave scene one, you exit stage right, which
Hmm.
is to the people, right? To the people that's left,
Yes, and
right?
review. Hmm.
hmm But when you exit stage left, that means you only had the part in that scene,
Hmm.
right? Now, the narrative that they controlling is the restoration of the Earth tribes by overthrowing the usurpers. This is why every single country in Africa is protesting on behalf of Ibrahim Traore.
Mm. Speak. Yeah.
This is like today. It's
Yeah.
like it's been going on all day, all
It has
over,
been. Yes.
because the representation of Ibrahim Traore is every fallen leader at the hands of colonial rule.
Mm.
And this is why it's going to be almost impossible to get to him close enough to remove him from power.
Yes.
Soon as he solidified power, in the African matriarch, he'll step to the front. You already have a prominent matriarch from Africa telling them don't touch Ibrahim Traore,
Mm.
right? But we don't know who she is because we don't understand that African people was primarily matriarchal too, except for during colonization when the
Absolutely.
patriarchs was responsible to fight the war.
Hmm. Hmm.
We've been in a perpetual state of war ever since Rome was established,
Absolutely.
right?
Purposefully orchestrated, and it serves a purpose to distract, um, to denigrate, and to it's all purposefully done.
Yeah, and all of it is just to undermine the mama. That's it.
Hmm. Well, you
It's
see
just,
when you say, like, I was raised as a Roman Catholic, which is occultism at its best, right? You eat the flesh eat the flesh with the wafer, and drink the blood
that's
of
that's called a
Christ.
sin, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But
But
but you
we
when you
don't
say that,
know.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't know that when they call us sinners, they the ones that's making us sinners, because sin is a Babylonian
Terminal.
Sumerian god
Yes.
named
Yes.
Menachem,
Yeah.
right? But we don't know that the Talmudic and the Mishnah of the so-called Jews is where they have these rituals written at for the Kohen or priest to follow.
That's why India and Israel are very close. They are very tied to one another. Interestingly enough, right? Based on rituals and occult practices.
Well, India, when you talk about India, you talk about primary Hinduism.
Mhm.
Hinduism is ancient systems of awakening that different temperaments of people in the Hindu society were under their caste system. They all had what's called a patron deity.
Mm.
The Catholic Church mimicked it and gave us a patron saint. You got Saint Maurice, Saint Bishop, you got Saint Mary, and all this stuff. But
Mhm.
all it is the system of caste of India was rewritten after Alexander invaded the Indus Valley. This is why they
Yes.
said he conquered the world.
Yes.
Alexander was working for the rising Roman Empire, and he was the usurper of the Greek Empire, which was matriarchal.
Hmm.
The Greek civilization was established by priestesses of Egypt that settled. They created the first university on the island of Crete
Mm.
in the BC period to educate and uplift those people that was being oppressed over there. The Romans came about, and if you go to their origin story, they say that they came from Romulus and Remus, who was suckled by a she-wolf.
Mm.
The name of the she-wolf they don't never tell you, but her name is She-Ra. It's a play. It's a play on the name of Shu,
And
as
Ra.
in Shu and Tefnut and Ra.
Yeah.
Right. It's the taking the mother out of the equation.
Mhm.
The guardian wolves of the earth, what they call the dire wolf today. They say they've been extinct for millions of years. They
I
have
don't
not
think
been
so. Yeah,
extinct.
that's cap. They're trolling
Well,
us.
they still have them running around. It's just that they phase between realities.
Oh, they permeate between dimensions. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Ah,
Because their job on earth is to sniff out and find orphans stranded in the wilderness. That's their job.
interesting.
So when they say Romulus and Remus was suckled by a she-wolf, they were suckled by She-Ra, right? Who
Yeah.
does the work of Shu by the orders of Ra. Right? Now, Grimm's Law of Grammar, in translating a foreign language into English, all vowels are interchangeable. So the U became an E, and this is how they conceal things from us through linguistics.
Yeah. A shifting of symbolism and rebranding it, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So you learning by understanding how the totem animal system works, how we use the frequency and the energy of spirit animals to communicate with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They confuse familiars with totem animals. Your familiar, not your totem animal.
No, it's not. It's a spiritual.
That's your assistant.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The spiritual assistant that took on an animal form.
There was a movie about that. I forgot, it was like a polar bear, and all of the animals were like familiars to people, assistant, like almost like their animal assistant here, like a guardian angel would be perceived.
Yeah. So you got some people, it's a lot of sisters, if they get over their fear, they can walk through the wilderness, they come out the other side, they're gonna have a whole pack of deer behind them.
It happens. Yeah, it happens.
And people gonna be thinking she did something to them. They might believe she on her period. And you got some that if they get close to a beehive, the bees dance for them. They make a big swarm. They actually had a movie where that scene played out, one of them superhero movies. And then I think it was the opening scene. The bees was all around the lady, and she didn't know she had superpowers.
Wait, wasn't that Jupiter Rising? Like she was from another time, but the bees recognized her as a queen herself, and they basically did a uniformed dance performance for her. I think that's the one you're talking about.
And then the men that was around her, they were stinging them, but they wasn't stinging her.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. You had women that they call them honeypots.
Ooh, let's get into it, Rod. Yes.
She comes from the Orisha land of Oshun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Oshun's favorite, one of her delicacies is honey. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so the bee is also what they referred to us as. They called us bees and ants.
Mm-hmm. Which
why they calling us bees? Why they calling us bees and ants? Yeah, what is that all about? Yeah. And then I heard a channeled message. I heard one of the Moors arguing with one of the chiefs. He said, y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of bees and ants. All y'all do is swarm around y'all big mama. But by default, that made the mortals unknown immortals.
Yeah.
right? So he's talking about prime source empowering us to exercise free will in the transference of the light, right? Then it takes us to Prometheus still in the flame from the gods, right? To give it to the mortals. It goes into the reason why Hercules is going through all of these tests to develop the strength and the character. Right? So when you put it all together, it's what the priest is. He's not talking to regular people with what you read, and he's talking to priests and scholars, and he's making the bridge between let's say that guy is a high school English professor, but he's not very skilled in metaphysics. So he's going to bridge the gap between the English professor and the metaphysician by describing it in that manner. Right? The Israel is a Egyptian hijacked term. It got nothing to do with what they've been telling us that it got something to do with. Anybody tell you that God made some people with nowhere to live and that they his special people got to be delirious. Because all of us is where Mama Earth placed us at, organic to the land that we come from. We have the ability to traverse the rest of the world and visit with the other tribes. Right? So this is why in their religious texts it said we made you in tribes and clans that you may know one another, recognizing the difference. When they exploit the teaching of the people, this is to manipulate the mind of the masses. So he's talking to people with higher levels of education than the people that we communicate with on a day-to-day basis.
Indeed. Hey, and with that being said, with all this galactic talk, what's the latest update you got? I'm asking everybody who come on the show the latest update you got about the 3i Atlas. I know you posted on your Instagram. I know they said what they saying, family. It just left. They can't see it right now. I think it's hiding behind the sun, something like that. I forget what's
they telling us too many things about 3i Atlas that's inconsistent with what we've seen. They told us a couple of days ago it smashed into the sun.
They said that,
yeah. But it ain't even by the sun though. Even when they told us that, it wasn't near the sun.
Yeah.
So it's all of the 3i Atlas phenomenon is all coded information. It's all coded information. I don't even think personally, this is my opinion, I think that it's just being used to get certain information in the public in your face, behind your back type deal. I don't even know if it's real. Because it's too many inconsistencies. First, it was a meteor, then it wasn't a meteor, then it was an asteroid, then it wasn't an asteroid, then it was a mothership, then it wasn't a mothership, but then all these other ships keep popping up all around it, but then they keep disappearing. And I'm like, so they given a story in the reports on 3i Atlas, and until you crunch them all together, you can't see what the story is. It's like, you ever seen a penny stretcher?
Yeah.
It's like you stretch the penny out. You know it's a penny.
Right.
But you can't quite make it out for a minute. You're like, what the hell is it? Oh, they put it through the penny stretcher. That's what the story, the 3i Atlas story is through the penny stretcher. It's a clock. It's a timer.
Yeah.
Now what they timing, I can't tell you. But I can tell you that the reports of its arrival has oscillated. Right. The last I heard, it was on my birthday, but it started off in December, the arrival. Then it went as close to us as October 27th. I don't know what the estimated arrival time is now, but they've been doing countdowns, and that's how you know it's a clock. This many days into the arrival. I'm like, okay. what you really look? Well, we can't be thinking that 3i Atlas is the mothership that's coming because it's already here. The mothership that's coming and been here for a couple of years, they've spotted it in Venezuela, Brazil, New Zealand, and it's because it stayed close to the southern hemisphere because that's the top of the planet.
Mm.
They got us believing north is up and south is down. It's the other way around.
Mhm.
That's why the south get the sun first.
Wait. Hold up, Rod. If north is south and south is north, what about the feng shui we just talked about? Should you be facing? Yeah, you get what I'm
You
saying?
remember when I gave you a description of what it was? It's the man upside down,
Yeah.
and it's the woman right side up.
Mhm.
You ever heard the term "the south will rise again"?
Yeah.
That's the code or the call of the matriarch's return. Because when the South is put back on top, that's when the woman is put back on top.
Mhm.
But not because she can rule better than the man, she rule different than the man. So we go from military, squared off, regimented designs of our cities back to the intrinsic circles to the center,
Mhm.
right? So you're looking at an era that's closing and one that's coming on, and because most of us in the 99 percentile don't remember past lives, we think that's the only life we ever had.
Mhm.
And because we think that's the only life we ever had, we can't recognize the signs that's the bleed over from past lives that tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah.
So we go with the narrative that the rulers gave us as the story. Remember, the victors write history and the ruthless control it.
Mhm.
Right? So they telling us how to look at the story instead of us tapping into our inner consciousness, which goes back to what you was talking about remote viewing,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? Because it's all about tuning in to your higher self.
Mhm.
And then you have access to your higher senses, like your physical body have access to emotions.
Mm.
Your emotions is your navigation system. And you know how to read your emotions, it saves you so many problems in your life.
Right.
And that's why people have what we call temper tantrums, short fuses, because they've never learned to understand that their emotions is a navigation system.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to dictate what you do. They're supposed to tell you what you experience. When you're not in the physical body, you don't have emotions. It's pure intellect. Then when you go to your higher self, now you are not only intellect, but divine intellect because you have access to what we call non-local information of time, space, and beyond, right? The remote viewing program is a system that they found. It's the same system of tarot reading, I Ching reading. The practice of learning it is calibrating the mind to translate what you're seeing into the vessel that you're using. So you start off as a person sitting in the living room, but the mind is not restricted by the body.
Mhm.
This is how you know that when people tell you we in the soul trap, they lying.
Mhm.
If we was in the soul trap, we wouldn't be able to astral travel or etherically project. We wouldn't be able to allow our mind to remote view other locations because we would be in the soul trap.
Mhm.
If you can do any of those things, if there's another soul, you can communicate with it.
Mhm.
Whether it's the oversoul of all creation we call Prime Creator, Big Mama,
Mhm.
or whether it's the Big Mama by tribal right walking on the land. We can communicate through telepathic means when you move into that higher energy. But as long as you think person, place, or thing, they got you locked in a triangulation. That's what the 3 points of it are, triangulation. When you look at GPS, it's using triangulation,
Okay.
right? So
They
once you get past a coincidence, now you have a triangulation because now co means two, tri means three. And the 3 points of convergence tells you where you at any given time.
Yeah. They just said that in the book. They said our local universe has a triangular light core of
Mhm.
10 million light years.
Yeah. So he's telling you just like the microcosm, macrocosm.
Right.
right? Just like you take you 10 minutes to walk to the store, there's a version of you that's taking 10 million light years to walk to the store
Mm-hmm. Mm.
because it's
Yo,
non-local.
yo, Rob, I ain't gonna ask that. I ask that later. You was talking about remote viewing when we mentioned the 3-eye atlas. They kept mentioning Mars a little while ago with the 3-eye atlas. I
Mm-hmm.
remember I had Dr. Wesley Muhammad on a couple of months ago, and we was reading some of the papers on remote viewing from I think when they first started the program, and one of their top remote viewers they ever had was remote viewing. They gave him like coordinates, and he remote viewed the Mars. And he was talking about how he was seeing these shadowy figures, and in that community, shadowy is code word for black. Um, Tell us a little bit about the history of black people in Mars. There's been so many different stories I've heard, whether it's Bobby Hemmett, whether it's the Moors, whether it's this person. What can you tell us the history of blacks and this specific planet, Mars?
Look, there's 7 major planets in the solar system. There has been a time in our history where we have been to every one of them.
Every one of them.
Every one of them. But remember, these brown bodies is only about 2,000, 3,000 years old.
Mm.
We were shades of olive and green
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and marine blue,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those colors has changed because of the chemical composition of what we made of has changed.
Mm-hmm.
We used to breathe ozone as our primary oxygen source, which is a double oxygen molecule. And we used to be under the ozone used to be all the way on the ground, which means higher pressure,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the combination of the two and the way that we are attracting sun at the time, we growing colossal in size,
Mm-hmm.
right? But now we smaller. We no longer have what we call magnesium copper conversion. Now we have iron copper conversion. And iron rusting gives us our shades of wheat, which takes us to the Popol Vuh, the Mayan Bible, as they call it. And they tell you in there that man was made from maize. That's what they talk about. The different carbon tones. But if we take our iron and substitute it for magnesium, our blood would look like chlorophyll. You know, so we've been through so many different cycles. We change the rules at every new cycle because you got to write a new history. Listen, we eternal beings. That's important. We living for eternity.
It's a long time, Rod.
What the hell we supposed to do all that time?
Figure some shit out.
So we break life up into 100-year segments and live a different life every 100 years, every 1,000 years. But we have to break eternity up into bite-sized pieces in order to even grasp what it is. Right? So this gives us the phenomenon called death, which is actually just entropy.
Yo, Rod, I don't know if I ever told you this, yo. So check this out. When I was young, like I'm a calm dude for the most part. You know, I could I don't get anxious when situations present itself. I know how to really tap in and solve any situation that I'm presented with. But when I was young, one thing that gave me extreme anxiety, I think I told you this before, is the idea of thinking about eternity, thinking about living forever. When I'm talking about 5, 6 years old, because they teach you about God and shit, and in my mind, I'm just like, what the fuck is forever? How the fuck I'm gonna live forever? Yo, what? And I used to just come up with a million questions about how am I about eternity and how that's gonna be, whatever. But that gave me extreme anxiety, Rod, to the point where I had to eventually I just said, you know what? I'm gonna stop thinking about it, and you know, whatever happens, happens. But there was a couple of years when thinking about eternity, some weird shit gave me extreme anxiety, man. So when you said that just now, when you was like, we eternal beings, I'm like, oh shit, I had that thought again.
Yeah,
I got triggered, right?
what you went through is called the chrysalis of awakening. Before you can realize your immortal eternal self, you first have to come to terms with your physically mortal self.
Mm.
You got to come to terms that you're not going to always be in the body.
Right, right.
Right? But how you perceive the body is where the anxiety comes from. It makes you agitated.
Yeah.
That what we call adrenaline response to a concept or idea floods the body and then looking for the threat, and the threat is absence of knowledge.
Mm.
As soon as you start to understand that outside of the physical body, we don't feel. If we came into this life on 3D Earth and we felt stuff and we loved genuinely and we was able to experience genuine love, we get outside the body. Mm-hmm. Every emotion we felt, every anger, we celebrate that stuff. Because we had the opportunity to be more than intellect. Right. We had the opportunity to experience success and failure. When you a God, you don't even know what the hell failure. You have to create failure in order to even know that failure exists.
Wow.
But when you mortal, you have to stop being scared of failure in order to find success. It's just the opposite.
Ain't that some shit?
Right? This size above, so below, but it's a mirror. 6 on the ground look like 9 in the sky. Mm-hmm. 9 in the sky look like 6 on the ground. Or you can flip it. Depending on the angle you looking at the 9. Is you looking at it from the top or the bottom? Right? So it's perception.
Yeah.
Your whole life is predicated upon whose perception do you accept to tell you what life means. You're supposed to read all them books, not for the sake of reading books. It serves two purposes. It allows you to have a glimpse in the perspective of somebody else, be it fiction or nonfiction. Right? Then it also allows you an opportunity to exercise the brain like you do weightlifting for the body.
Right.
When you hear them talk about like Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, they call them, those are intellectual giants. They wasn't born that way. Mm-hmm. They had to work out. They had to exercise that man. Sheikh Anta Diop. Right? Amazing scientists. Amazing. Don't nobody even know that he was one of the pioneers in carbon-13 dating. Then he went on to take it further and came up with other types of dating systems based on the decay of elements.
Right.
Why do the elements decay? That's entropy. Right? From chaos they came, and to chaos they return. Only way you can avoid the entropy is you have to reach what we call absolute zero, where you gain no energy, lose no energy. Mm-hmm. Right? Or you burn the exact same amount that you consume. There's no loss. As soon as the energy begins to be lost, them opinions. It sets in entropy. Right? When you understand the reason why you have fear, it's telling you where you need to be educated. If you're scared of hell, find out where it came from. Is hell really there? The man's mind invented hell out of his paranoia. Right? Is heaven really there? Or did man have grandiose delusions of a potential utopia and wrote a story about heaven? Right? You can live hell or heaven on earth. You don't got to be dead to live, man, one of them. But we so busy letting somebody tell us how to live, we don't know the difference in the two on earth. Because we have hell one day and heaven the next. Right? The vicissitudes, the ups and downs, the ins and outs of life. If we taught our children that they supposed to have struggles in life, I guarantee you that the suicide rate will plummet by 90% in 5 years.
Mm.
Just by telling the children that, you know, in life sometime, baby, you're supposed to struggle in order to get strong. Life supposed to get hard when you get too complacent at being nothing in order to make you into something.
Wow, yeah.
That's the only reason why you get all go into that apathetic state.
Mm-hmm.
Now remember, religion is engineered, designed as a military tool to stir up the apathetic state in all of the children. They apply it through education.
Mm-hmm.
School is not a socio-political word. It's a religious word from a specific religion.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But then using linguistics, they manipulate it a little bit and you don't know where it came from, so you don't know what you're doing. That's that go along to get along, obedience to authority mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They did a whole study on people's obedience to authority. Right? And they did one called the Zimbardo's prison study. Right? Zimbardo took regular people, regular Joes, and divided them up. Half of y'all inmates, half of y'all prisoners. Y'all can leave this program anytime y'all get ready to. All you have to do is ask. Then they played out a scenario. They did this in Arizona, in a university in Arizona. And they play out the scenario. The cops, the ones they appointed as the correction officers, became aggressive and abusive to the inmates. The inmates became slick, conniving, trying to run scams on people, all this stuff. In a 6-month prison study, it amazed them at how quick the inmates became inmates and the guards became predatory prison guards.
Mm. Damn. Do you think, I was talking to you about psychic powers and abilities, and one of the things people say is that people in what they call third world countries, they're able to tap in to these supernatural abilities more because they're not, they don't have all the lights in the city and the distraction around them. Do you feel as though when you were in prison, were you able to tap more into certain abilities because you didn't think about rent, think about a goddamn avocado that costs $3 if it's organic? Was your ability to tap into these latent things that they talk about, it wasn't more prevalent in when you were locked up, Rod?
That's what you're talking about, is sensory deprivation that allows you to tap into other senses. The time that I did locked up, when you locked up, you have worries just like people in the street, but you got a different set of worries.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What comes with the new environment comes a new